What's happening, people? You are through to the Fight Week show. I'm Ola, your host, and salute to you for joining me this morning. I just wanted to talk about a few things going on in the MMA world. We have Max Holloway. Max Holloway was in the works against Volkanovski. Volkanovski was supposed to be fighting Max Holloway. He's now injured, and Cejudo's making a case. He's making a case to try and step in against Henry Cejudo. I mean, Cejudo is trying to make a case to get in against Alex Volkanovski. Volkanovski, we know, defeated Brian Ortega in a dominant fashion. I mean, Brian Ortega probably only had, and Ortega is my guy. Everybody knows this. Ortega is my guy, but Alex Volkanovski, I mean, he dealt with Ortega in a crazy fashion, um, and very dominant fashion. But do we think Henry Cejudo is the guy to come in and fix this? Do we think Cejudo? I mean, Cejudo's been crying to fight Volkanovski for quite a while since he retired. Really, he's been calling for him. Excuse me. And we know what Cejudo is like with the trash talk, with the crazy talk. He's going to bring a freshness to the press conference. I feel. I like Cejudo for this. I'm not sure if he has the capabilities of beating someone like Volkanovski, because in that fight against Brian Ortega, Volkanovski showed me new lengths and how far he's willing to go to retain his gold. I mean, Brian Ortega had him in that choke. That anyone else taps from that choke um, against Volkanovski, but Volkanovski found a way to get out of that choke. So he showed me new layers to his game. The willingness to go that far to retain his gold. So it's one to definitely sit around and see what happens in that situation. But I hope UFC puts it together. There's other contenders there, like the fight that we got coming up this weekend. It's fight week. We got this fight coming up this weekend with Calvin Keita versus Giga Chikadze. So I think one of those, really and truly, if they're winning, if either party win in a dominant fashion, in a brutal fashion, well, maybe they could make a case to be a number one contender for the title. So we will see. Um, we also have Gilbert Burns. He's he's in the works. He's in the works against Chimaev. Chimaev is one that I see has been rising. He's been rising right through the ranks. I mean, not through the ranks, but his popularity. The machine is behind him. The machine that's called the UFC is behind Chimaev. And I like Chimaev because he's so confident. He talks his talk. He talks the shit. He's with the shit. Um, and a lot of fighters that seen him, think this guy, there's no one in the division that can handle him. Now, I mean, Magny's been putting his armor for the longest to fight Chimaev. I think Chimaev is one of those guys you can't, because I haven't seen enough of him in the octagon. Like, he's only had four fights. He barely got touched in those four fights, um, and he just putting people away in dominant fashion. Now, people, I mean, fighters in the top five were kind of, I don't know, some of them were swerving him, but people like Belal Muhammad has put their hand up and said, "Listen, I'll fight you. Set it up. I don't mind. I'll get in there with you." Um, but Chimaev obviously is making a lot of noise and he wants to get to Usman as quick as possible, as fast as possible. Will this guy get to Usman by the end of 2022? Who knows? The way, at the rate that he's fighting the people that he wants to fight, they He's putting them away, and he's talking about, yeah, I want to fight next week, and put them away, and then, yeah, I want to fight next week. So this is what Chimaev is about. If you don't know about Chimaev, go and check this guy out, man. This guy is notorious. Um, and I feel, the UFC is so behind him. He'll probably get what he wants. You know what I mean? He will get what he wants. Another fight that's on the horizon is these guys here, Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. These two fighters, I mean, Francis has the equalizer. He has that nuclear power. All he has to do is touch man and man's out, right? But Cyril Gane, young, athletic, the way he moves, the way he dances around the octagon, his footwork for a heavyweight is phenomenal. Is actually one of those guys that I think, I mean, Ngannou's talking about fighting someone like Tyson Fury. Cyril Gane is the type of guy that I think will get in front of Tyson Fury and probably have a little bit of success. Francis, I don't think so. Not in the boxing settings. Not under boxing rules. They're talking about mixed rules. I don't know how that works for both parties. I mean, what rules would that really be? Mixed rules. Mixed rules could be anything, you know. It could be headbutting people, eye gouging people. Who knows? So I don't know about these mixed rules, but I think Cyril Gane, for the way that he moves, is the one that I feel could really get in front of Tyson Fury if that was to even ever, if Dana was to even, think about entertaining it. I feel like Cyril Gane is probably one of the guys that could make that sort of thing. You make it look better, at least for the MMA world, because the MMA world has been taking a lot of losses in the in the boxing world lately. Look at what happened with Askren and T Wood. They went and lost to a YouTuber, Jake Paul. So no, thank you. We need a better representative for us in that part of the world. So I personally, I don't want Francis getting into it with Tyson Fury. He's just too good, too fast, too sleek, and he's just knocking the fuck out. That's what I feel. But I mean, Francis only has, again, the one chance, one punch knockout on Tyson Fury, and we've seen Tyson Fury get up from a Deontay Wilder knockout, and I think he's probably one of the hardest knockout artists in the boxing world. So for me, for my money, Tyson Fury all the way for me. And the last topic that I want to touch on is Derrick Lewis facing Taito Ivasa. Derrick Lewis, Taito Ivasa. How this is going to pan out, it's a dangerous fight for Bam Bam, Dangerous fight. I like Bam Bam a lot. I like his character. I like the way he carries himself. I like everything about him. He's rising up fast as well. And, he's got everybody in his corner with the shoey. I love everything that Bam Bam does. But the Black Beast is a different kettle of fish. Is a different monster. And when this guy doesn't care about anything, he's not chasing title, he's got no pressure on him, he fights a different way. He fights the way he fights. You stand in front of him, there's only one outcome. You can't stand in front of Derrick Lewis and leave to tell the story. It just doesn't happen. So Derrick Lewis, I've seen him get battered by Volkov for rounds, battered, and in the last 10 seconds, Volkov, for some mad reason, decided to stand in front of Derrick Lewis, and he had his light turns out. Derrick Lewis can do that too. He's that sort of guy. So I don't know. I like Bam Bam. I like Derrick Lewis. This is a fight that I'm really, really looking forward to. When he eventually, gets put together and get a date on it, we'll come back to you on that. And if you're new around here, please subscribe, share, like, do all of that good stuff. We're a new channel. We're trying to grow. We're gonna need your support. We're gonna need your support for the journey along the way. And you guys know I don't ever take your support for granted. That's the one thing that I promise you guys, and you're gonna get from me. My support. I mean, your support will never be taken for granted. So please share, subscribe, like. We're new. Show some love, show some support, and we're gonna need it. And up until the next video, salute.